Meanwhile, it's time for us to turn our attention to your personal finances, which may or may not be in a state of absolute disarray. Dr. Roger Givolb is CEO of Fair Money, personal finance and credit expert. He loves to come onto this programme and have a good old froth. Roger, you can't have a froth when Her Majesty the Queen is lying in state, can you?
No, absolutely not, James. And sincerest apologies, but I'm once again actually feeling rather up today.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Yeah, last week, as you know, I was really quite chuffed that it was finally all over.
Hang on. So, well, I mean, we'll talk about Liz Truss in a moment, but she's made an announcement, but then the Queen has died. It's an incredible moment in our history. Everybody's been distracted. We've got stuff shutting on Monday. We've had the inflation figures out, which are 9.9 as opposed to 10.1%. We've got significant employment numbers, but people's real wages are going down. We've still got house prices rising. Internationally, things are falling apart. I mean, how can you be positive, Roger?
Well, I mean, strangely, this week I'm actually somewhat excited because I have this feeling that this country is going to go places and fast.
Oh.
Yeah, I have my own private theory.
Okay.
That the Queen, God bless her, possessed a dedication and an iron will far beyond what she's now being praised for and what any of us can imagine. I believe that these qualities may well have caused her to hang on when she was actually quite unwell, to be certain to welcome her 15th Prime Minister. And then, when she decided it was time to let go, to be sure to do that in Scotland, so that they could make a huge and magnificent fuss over her, which they did. And Nicola Sturgeon's dreams of secession would disappear for many decades to come.
Interesting, right? Okay, so we're moving towards the most massive conspiracy theory. I love it. Carry on.
Well, and at the same time, just to get it even more complex, I suspect that Her Majesty also believed that Charles and William and their good ladies would be able to further unite Northern Ireland, Wales, and much of the Commonwealth. And I feel that we can all see evidence in the current zeitgeist, in the prevailing mood in the country right now. Now, to me...
Okay, can I just ask you then, do you think then that as a result of all of this, we've all become history experts, we've all looked back at the rule of the Queen, we all perhaps have a view that to be born into something isn't quite right, and we would like to have a meritocracy, but you have a look at countries around the world where that happens, and you generally end up with the person who shouldn't be in power being in power. And when you have somebody who doesn't particularly want to be in power, in fact, they do a better job because they actually care about it. And you have a look at what the former Prince Charles, now King Charles III, and what Prince William and indeed what the family have said, and you realise that you have a family that's dedicated to this nation. They really get it. They get us, we trust them and let them get on with the job. And in fact, we have something which is pretty unique here. We have a head of state who is globally famous, will be globally listened to. People do respect this nation. And when you see queues of people who are prepared to pay their respects to Her Majesty the Queen and queue all night, when you see those queues and the way that they have behaved not only in that queue but also when they've gone into Westminster Hall to show their respects, you realise that this is the most extraordinary country that has the most incredible qualities.
Well, I agree with every word you just said. And you see, to me, this means that symbolically, politically, and especially economically, this makes UK PLC a world force, as we already were, leading in vaccinations and support for Ukraine and many other things. And I may be being a bit Pollyannish, if you will, but I believe that as a consequence, many of our differences and internal strifes from the Queen's example may reduce. Productivity may increase, and we may see, as I have seen several times in the decades I've been privileged to live here, this island bounce back and surge forward with a jaw-dropping speed and efficiency.
Let's hope that's the case. Now, I'm so sorry, we've been chatting rather a lot. It means that we may run out of time. So let's just move very swiftly on to the Prime Minister. What do you make of Liz Truss? I mean, she's been out the limelight for a little bit. I guess she's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's just an extraordinary entry into her new role for her. And I heartily welcome her £150 billion plan over the next 18 months to attack the accelerating energy bills and alleviate some of the cost of living crisis. However, I have unsettlingly come across two groups that are taking some issue with that plan. Firstly, the very prestigious Resolution Foundation think tank has announced that under the plan...
Oh, listen, I get that. I'm sorry, they're just politically motivated. I mean, they've got
you, yeah.
So, I mean, look, what they produce is very interesting, but one has to understand that they are a centre-left think tank. Look, Dr. Roger, hang on there, because we're going to have to do some frothing now. So, hang on for some froth. Dr. Roger will be back. Your calls will be back. 0344 499 1000 to join the conversation. Tell me how